Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and we're doing SAG predictions. SAG Awards are on Sunday. They are the last acting precursor. The SAG Awards are actually the day after the PGA, so we'll be predicting that too. We can predict WGA while we're at it, although that is the next week. Let's just do SAG predictions. Supporting actor, Ke Huy Quan. Barry Keoghan is not going to suddenly upend his momentum. That's not happening.
Nah.
I actually don't know what happened in that support.
You don't need to.
Nobody actually thinks that Barry Keoghan's the front runner.
Yeah,
so
let's just get that out there. We can all be on the same page that that's not going to happen again.
Also,
it's Ke Huy Quan's year.
Supporting actress. I also think this is a total no-brainer. Angela Bassett makes so much sense to win here.
I think if Carrie Condon comes around, because the BAFTA win was important for her, I would take her a little bit seriously. For the Oscar, you might have a little debate about it. For the SAG, I think you're pretty safe here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to turn around for SAG.
It just feels like they would go with the actor that they like more, who has a more established career.
I feel like SAG's, the vibe is yay! Yay!
They like fun and nice things.
And they gave it to Viola Davis for Ma Rainey also, instead of Frances McDormand for Nomadland, which was a bigger, more transformative performance. I don't know what that has to do with this category.
Well, it's also Angela Bassett is giving the showier acting performance too, and they like that. They like when you scream and cry and everything, and she does that. So I think that's just going to happen. That's pretty easy.
And Best Actor, I think we're going to be on the same page with this.
Yeah.
Austin Butler.
I would have just said it before the BAFTA, and I did predict it for the BAFTA.
Well, I think we were saying it before the BAFTA because we predicted it for the BAFTA. I think I think it was all right, is Brendan Fraser real? The Whale's not in Best Picture, definitely not secure. Austin Butler, I think, is objectively number one after the BAFTA win. Damn.
Yeah, I think Elvis is still. It just feels like Elvis is still riding really high off of the fuckboat of nominations at the Oscars and the boat fuck nominations at the BAFTAs and also a lot of BAFTA wins. After The Whale missed Best Picture, it feels like it kind of just flopped a little bit, Austin Butler's going to take it.
I think it's coming together.
It's also the most SAG-friendly performance, and I think he's getting the Oscar. It would even make sense to say that Austin Butler is just the sweeper of this year outside of a Critics' Choice Award. It just kind of makes sense that the one who's playing Elvis Presley in a film that's nominated for Best Picture is just going to be the Best Actor winner.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser's not playing a real person. He's not in a Best Picture
Look,
nominee.
Brendan Fraser's performance is as Oscar targeted as anything, but the movie wasn't well liked.
It does kind of feel like his hype peaked around festival time, where people were really excited, and it was he did it. He accomplished the performance.
Elvis has just been riding a stronger wave.
Best Actress. This is actually the one where I literally just don't know what to do or know how to do it. Cate Blanchett has Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and BAFTA, okay? Even if she was up against Michelle Yeoh at Golden Globe, I think she still would have won. Michelle Yeoh, though,
definitely.
People think that she has a better shot at SAG.
I think that's always been the sentiment. It was always that Cate Blanchett's going to have an easier time with Critics' Choice and BAFTA. Although Critics' Choice, I think they could have gone either way.
No. People thought Michelle Yeoh was going to win the Critics' Choice, if you remember.
Did they really?
Yes, they did. She was expected to win, she didn't. The SAG does go with more diversity. That is also true. And in the instances where Meryl Streep was winning her third Oscar, Viola Davis won the SAG. And in the instance where Frances McDormand won her third Oscar, Viola Davis won the SAG. We're looking at a third Oscar win versus a first-time Oscar win.
Do you feel like they spread the wealth more in general with we're not going to give you your third thing?
Well, Viola Davis, I think, is 3.
But let's say for SAGs want to predict the Oscars, and they're thinking about it that way. Let's just assume.
I don't think that's true about Daniel Day-Lewis, and I think Jack Nicholson has all 3, but does Tar really feel like a SAG-friendly movie is the other thing? Does Tar feel like it's their thing? Not that much to me. It feels a little cold. They usually like their warm, fun movies.
Is there any other example of where the SAG went in one direction that other awards bodies didn't, besides the 2 Viola Davis things?
Yeah, and the Chadwick Boseman that wasn't really different from what other people were doing. Denzel Washington for Fences, but there was also that aspect with Casey Affleck and people
that's a good example
about giving the award.
It's a good example, though.
I mean, you're usually best off predicting the person that you think is going to win the Oscar for the SAG. Usually you are best off doing that.
They don't usually go 4 out of 4. Am I right about that? Not usually. Usually it's 3 out of 4.
Going 4 out of 4 happens. It definitely happens. Like last year, I think they were 4-4. Jessica Chastain, Will Smith.
But all that being said, I could still see them just going with Cate Blanchett, and then we all realize, like, holy shit, she's so strong. She was, like, I don't even know if it was a fight. That's what I would say to myself.
If Cate Blanchett doesn't win SAG or Oscar, this will be the first year since 2002 where no actor has swept all the way through. And in 2002, there was a reason that happened. It was because Catherine Zeta-Jones was lead at the Golden Globes for Chicago. So, like, it's actually really rare that we don't get a sweeper. Cate Blanchett's the only person who's eligible at this point for a sweeper because for some reason Ke Huy Quan is not a sweeper.
Yeah, for some reason.
I don't think that's necessarily a reason to predict anybody. Like, oh, they're going to have to go with the sweeper because there's got to be a sweeper. Like, I think there could be a year where that doesn't happen. Maybe it's this year. I also think even if Michelle Yeoh wins SAG, there's not a good precedent for her taking the Oscar after that. People are trying to make up reasons for why Michelle Yeoh still got this. And I honestly just feel like no. There's not good precedent. Even like Halle Berry Monsters Ball, who won the SAG and then the Oscar. It's not like Halle Berry was losing to the same person at every awards show. Usually if somebody has SAG and like one other thing and then takes the Oscar, they're losing to different people, or there's somebody who's like shuffling around in categories and making it weird. Like Michelle Yeoh's consistently losing to Cate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I think that's not very good.
It's not even like Best Actress in the year of Nomadland, where it went to someone different everywhere, and then the Oscars had to like pick one awards body.
But it also does feel like Michelle Yeoh versus Cate Blanchett should be like a close race, and we should see Michelle Yeoh take like something. If Michelle Yeoh won the Critics' Choice, I would probably say that she's winning SAG. I feel like I have to say Cate Blanchett just because I think you usually do want to go with who you think is winning the Oscar.
Yeah. I was definitely ready to say Cate Blanchett going in, but I think there are a lot of examples of SAG, you know, when the race is getting like a little bit close going with someone else. I think the Denzel Washington example is actually pretty good because none of the other awards bodies went with him.
Yeah, but I think the Casey Affleck allegations thing made people feel icky about giving him the award.
But I think they also, they also respond with some heart, and they just saw all white winners at BAFTA. That's one thing. They saw an Oscar category where two women of color who they dominated were snubbed. Like, they might be feeling that a little bit. But see, I don't know if that's like fair to say that that's how they reason.
It is pretty unlikely to just take SAG with nothing else, though. They also might say, well, we're going to give Everything Everywhere other awards. So I think I'll go with Cate Blanchett as well. But I feel like it's 60-40. All right, now Ensemble. This is definitely Everything Everywhere is to lose.
Yeah.
This seemed like this would be the major guild win that even if it doesn't take DGA, even if it doesn't take PGA, like, it'll take this.
I mean, what's the competition here?
It's Banshees.
You could say, oh, well, the Fabelmans, but like, I don't see that happening.
You couldn't say that.
Okay, so Banshees is the competition. They have the same number of nominations. They have double supporting, a lead, and another supporting. However, like we said, the spirit of them is just that they're a little bit more fun, and I think the cast of Everything Everywhere is just a little more fun and like enjoyable to see them getting up on stage. The story behind the film is more compelling.
Think about the fact that they went with Hidden Figures. Like, they like a rah-rah movie a little bit more.
Yeah.
Except for Parasite, I guess. Parasite's fun to give awards to, but the movie itself is like kind of a tragedy. Usually they don't go with movies like Banshees that end on like a dour note.
I don't think it's about like, is the movie necessarily fun?
No, I think that's their taste though.
I think it's like they're like a little ball of passion. So they feel and that's why like Best Picture has been following it, and why PGA sometimes follows.
They also like movies that wear emotions on their sleeves. Like, I just think that Everything Everywhere fits their taste much better than Banshees. And also, they seem to like giving it to casts that sort of represent something, whether that's like, oh, the cast is like all Asian, or like Black Panther was a landmark in diversity, or like Coda has all deaf cast. Like, they like that kind of stuff. And also the cast of Everything Everywhere is just very fun. Jamie Lee Curtis, and you got Michelle Yeoh and her narrative, and Ke Huy Quan and his narrative, and everything. That's all good. They're going to have a lot of fun when they get up on the stage. I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be pretty easy. I think everybody is predicting it. Also, the whole season.
The guilds have been going fucking insane so far.
Yeah, the guilds have been going insane for Everything
The DGA and then the art directors and makeup guilds giving this awards is like kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
So why would it just stop at SAG? No, it's going to keep going through SAG. It'll hit WGA, probably PGA too.
Even if it lost PGA at that point, fellas, at that point, would I really go with Top Gun just because it won PGA? No.
I mean,
if Top Gun won PGA and WGA, though, that'd be a little scary.
Within reason, Everything Everywhere is going to win PGA after this. DGA plus SAG.
All right, I guess we're doing PGA predictions now.
We just did it.
Runner-up, I think, is Top Gun, though. I think Banshees, sorry you couldn't win BAFTA. Like, I'm sorry. And the Fablemans, I'm sorry you couldn't win DGA. Like, I just think that's the only thing left to do that could be crazy is them going with Top Gun. We all kind of feel like, even though that movie hasn't been winning a bunch of awards like that, really any major awards at all, that somehow it feels possible.
And this is where the preferential ballot will be tested. Very exciting. That's why the tide turns at PGA and then it goes right into the Oscars with it.
People think that the weakness of Everything Everywhere is going to be that it's like a love it, hate it movie. But, you know, that's just really people's imaginations. Like, who's to say that Everything Everywhere isn't going to be on a lot of 2s and 3s? We know it's going to be on a lot of number 1s. We know it's going to win that.
Well, I think people just have the experience of talking to voters or older people who are like, I really hate this movie. But I also have to say that loud voices that are like detracting from stuff, like they're often just loud, but they're not necessarily in great numbers. There are some people who stand by that like, oh, every Oscar voter I know says they do not like the movie. I think that's where the sentiment's coming from. And I could see it, you know, I could see those anonymous ballots, like some of them not understanding the movie, but I can just as well see as many, if not more of them going, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of tired of the same old for Best Picture, and maybe I didn't even totally get the movie, but I'm feeling that wave of passion. Because I don't know how you can say that it's not a highly loved movie when guilds are giving it awards, when it's getting nominated in categories like costumes and score and song. It doesn't bear out in the nominations like that people are love it, hate it about it. I think why Top Gun seems to have a shot here is because look at what movies the PGAs nominate. They fucking love their crowd-pleasing blockbusters. I mean, they nominated Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Avatar, and Knives Out, all these sequels, and they do that at the behest of films like Women Talking, but Everything Everywhere is not Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog is a slow burn. Would you use that word to describe Everything Everywhere? This is where slow burns go to die. The PGA is where slow burns go to die.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere is not that. It's actually a blockbuster. It's not like a Top Gun. It's not a major studio film. It's not a tentpole film. It's not a sequel.
And it did make a lot of money on a little budget, and it also made a lot of a little budget, and that's the producer's job, is to do a good job with the budget. And in that sense, you could even argue there's a good narrative for Everything Everywhere with producers, if you really wanted to go there.
I guess so.
Top Gun also has this narrative. I mean, it was like the movie that saved movies, so it has a good producer narrative too.
I don't know what people who love blockbuster entertainment combined with like more artsier crafts, like, well, I don't know what they would think about this movie, because
that's exactly where they meet. That's exactly who likes Everything Everywhere.
I know, that's the thing, is like Everything Everywhere kind of has that going for it. Top Gun winning a major award like PGA is simply an unproven concept. Like, you can't look anywhere else for it. Yeah, it's been being treated like a major Oscar movie. It's been winning cinematography awards. It has tech nominations, but I don't know about people voting for it and saying, like, I want that to win.
It's also not getting over-nominated.
A summer blockbuster, though, is just out of place in general when it comes to Best Picture awards.
Also, how weird would it be for Everything Everywhere to take DGA and not win PGA? Because here's the weird thing. In the beginning of the year, people were like, okay, maybe it takes screenplay. Then people were like, okay, maybe it goes screenplay picture, but not director. It's not going to win director, guys. Come on, they might not even get nominated. And now that everybody's accepted that it's winning director, people are kind of like, well, okay, it'll win director, but maybe it doesn't win screenplay or picture. It's like, you just did an inverse. Your immediate reaction was that this movie could be like could get into picture through screenplay. And now you're like, well, maybe not screenplay because it has director.
People who have been doubting it are just, those opinions are dropping. They're just dropping, flopping.
No, I actually don't know anybody who's not predicting it for Best Picture right now.
I know, but but the thing is that it took a lot for people to get to that place. And like, understandable too. There hasn't been a movie like this. It's very fucking weird that this movie is being embraced as it is. But if anything, it just seems like it's defying all of the odds.
Also, PGA usually goes with a movie that's either riding consistent momentum or spiking coming up. Banshees just did a little dip-de-doo. Fablemans just did a dip-de-doo. Top Gun, I don't know what that movie's doing. It's flying around somewhere, but Everything Everywhere is at least like riding a lot of momentum. I will say this though, if All Quiet was nominated, I'd be worried. Like, But it's not even nominated.
I agree.
It's not even nominated.
Yeah, because they'd be like, it'd be like the Twitter meme where they're like walking around with everything everywhere, but they look back and like there's All Quiet. You know, there's my little classic Hollywood war film. I'll forget the subtitles for a second and maybe I'll cast my vote for 1917 #2.
If Top Gun took this and WGA, then I'd be worried. I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? That's what I would say.
WGA, that'd be insane if it won WGA.
I know.
But I would acknowledge that if it won WGA, that would be fucking nuts, and we'd have to think about this.
I think that's the only way it could win Best Picture at this point. Is it would have to win
It has to
both.
win WGA to win Best Picture.
It's not impossible. Another smooth segue into WGA here, talking about adapted screenplay. In my opinion, if Women Talking loses WGA, then I am going to predict All Quiet on the Western Front. I think that is a great place to tell if Women Talking is weak in the screenplay category. If it loses to Glass Onion or Top Gun Maverick, I would say, well, I think the Oscars just might go with All Quiet. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Here's another thing.
I think you're 100% right.
100% right.
100% right. And they actually might go with something
However,
else.
if Women Talking wins WGA, will you still predict it for the Oscar despite All Quiet kind of making a case that it's
Probably.
a much stronger contender overall than Women Talking? But here's the other thing.
I probably would, but I don't know.
I also looked at this. Critics' Choice WGA combo. Ooh, it's strong. The only movie that didn't win that was Up in the Air losing to Precious, which surprised everybody because Up in the Air swept all the major awards. So aside from that, if you win WGA and Critics' Choice, congratulations on your Oscar. That's why if Women Talking won WGA, I know that All Quiet did this weird thing where it didn't exist to the guilds, and it probably wasn't even eligible for WGA,
And it didn't exist at the Critics' Choice either.
But if Women Talking won WGA, I'd think, okay, there's a little bit of life in there, because I'm actually wondering, where is the life in Women Talking right now?
I know. Because it's not winning any awards, like, anywhere.
The contenders that it could lose to are Glass Onion and Top Gun, right? That's pretty much it. Like, it's not going to lose to something else. I would normally think that Glass Onion has a shot. But Glass Onion feels like it peaked right when it was, popular and everything, and then it kind of died down. Although WGA loves to go with comedies. They gave it to Borat, and
They've done some weird stuff. They gave it to 8th grade.
yeah, they gave it to Can You Ever Forgive Me? Okay, they like going with comedies, but I do think that maybe there's a shot for Women Talking still, because Sarah Polley is a bigger name and a writer-director in that category. I don't know, but maybe they go with Glass Onion because of the comedy. I'm actually considering, or Top Gun just because it's their favorite movie, even though the writing's like,
Fine, I will consider Glass Onion because I don't know where Women Talking's at. I'm not sure what the pulse is on that movie. Top Gun, I just don't really buy that. Like, I'm not going to end up, that's not going to be what I end up predicting today.
Like, Borat beat One Night in Miami at the WGAs, and it was weird.
Were we predicting that?
I predicted it. It was weird. I was like feeling it.
You're insane. They do like comedies, though. They do.
Normally they do give it to the Oscar winner. It's just lately they've been kind of doing a couple weird, crazy things. I just really wonder, is Women Talking strong enough to take WGA? Like, I don't know if it is. I just don't know.
I mean, it got nominated for SAG Ensemble, so if you want to talk about, like, guilds, did okay.
Fuck it. I don't know. Glass Onion. I'm going to say Glass Onion.
Really?
I
have a question.
What do you want?
Now, I know that WGA members and PGA members are not in the same voting body, and they're not in the same circle. However, is there a correlation between you get nominated for PGA, you win WGA? Because I believe Borat was nominated for PGA, was it not? And I believe 8th Grade was nominated for PGA, was it not?
8th Grade was not nominated for PGA.
Okay, never mind. And Can You Ever Forgive Me definitely wasn't nominated for PGA either. Okay, never mind. Fuck what I just said. Never mind.
I think you're a little bit onto something, but
I don't think I'm onto something.
Borat was nominated for PGA. And Glass Onion was nominated where Women Talking wasn't. I don't know what to say about 8th Grade and Can You Ever Forgive Me. That was a weird-ass year. That was a fun year. I liked it.
8th Grade competed against Green Book.
It's just the comedy thing. Like, they sometimes just go for comedies, and it's weird.
Correct. Maybe the Writers Guild is just full of fucking, like, wannabe skit writers, like SNL people.
Oh, I think it probably is.
Why is no one reading my work? I am very funny.
Writers love dramedies and stuff. And I feel like they would like Ryan Johnson and all that. I'm going to go with Glass Onion. I don't know if it's weird, but it's just like what I feel. It's what I feel.
Because Women Talking is a very serious and austere movie.
But also, what about Top Gun? Do you think that has a chance? Is that the movie people think of writing when they think of the movie? Not really. And usually they do.
I'm saying no.
Even like 8th Grade.
I'm shutting that down.
Can You Ever Forgive Me? Like, those were righty movies. I feel like
There's no precedent for that. I would like this to go to Women Talking. I want Women Talking to win the Oscar. I want Sarah Polley to win an Oscar.
I'm gonna be
for that
so
movie.
fucking disappointed if All Quiet beats it at the
And
Oscars.
here's what I think might happen right now. Here's what I'm feeling. Glass Onion wins WGA. I jump ship on Women Talking, and then I predict All Quiet for the Oscar.
That's what I'm anticipating.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna be on the same page with you on that.
I will say the WGAs are the last big thing to happen this season. They're on March 5th, so they're only like a week before the Oscars or less. So you're gonna agree with me and say Glass Onion?
Yeah.
You're making the right choice, man. You're making the right choice.
I am.
Yeah. All right. An original screenplay. Hello, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Wow,
Any
the
questions?
WGAs were the most fun to predict. Banshees isn't here, so
Banshees
what else are you gonna
isn't
do?
here.
The Fablemans is here,
Yeah.
but like,
it's like the
No.
Fablemans, Nope, The Menu, and Tar. The Fablemans isn't gonna do it. No
you know,
way.
if the menu was adapted, I would be like, I would maybe predict it. I'm not even kidding. I would maybe. Predict that to win.
That's also just Glass Onion. Everything Everywhere is winning original screenplay WGA. There's no contest. McDonough's not even here.
Yeah.
If McDonough was here, it'd still win. This is what people need to understand. WGA Critics' Choice combo is so powerful that it doesn't make sense to me why I was able to bet $15 on Everything Everywhere winning screenplay today, and I'm going to return $31.50 back. Like, why am I able to do that? Why is this so easy for me to get money? A lot of people think it's Banshees. I just don't think it is.
From the beginning of the year, it was like, okay, Everything Everywhere could maybe win screenplay, guys. Like, let's wake up to the fact that this could maybe win screenplay. And then even the people who didn't believe in it for Best Picture were like, I could see an original screenplay nomination. That's kind of like what happened with Get Out, by the way. So then it eventually, does really well. And then it starts winning Best Picture awards.
And
And,
Best
then you're
Director.
going to say that the screenplay, which almost seemed like the most likely component to go along with the film, isn't going to win if it wins Best Picture. That's where
I know.
at.
I get that,
Yeah.
McDonough is really competitive in screenplay, so I kind of understand why people are trying to juggle that and trying to say, oh, Banshees is going to get something, right?
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what it is. It's like, it's a Banshees is going to get something, right? It
Yeah.
could just not. I mean, we've seen a lot of movies go home empty-handed that seem like they deserve to do well, or they were being predicted for several Oscars in the beginning of the year.
Wes Anderson, Budapest Hotel, Linklater, Boyhood, they didn't win shit. They gave literally both screenplay director to Iñárritu because they were like, we want this movie to take all the awards. It's also not like La La Land where it's like, I understand why that one director and not screenplay. Other movies that didn't win original screenplay but won director picture, The Artist, Shape of Water, Nomadland, those movies all feel like I can understand why you'd give the directing prize over the writing prize. But that's not the case with Everything Ever. I don't understand why you would give that directing before writing.
Martin McDonagh should have just said, you know what, I did adapt this from one of my own plays, and then he would have an Oscar.
So those are the predictions for the rest of the guilds. And after all these guilds happen, it is time for the Oscars. If Everything Everywhere takes PGA next week, congratulations to your Best Picture winner.
And then people can stop with like, well, the preferential ballot, I could do
Exactly.
this and this and
That'll
this.
shut
I
them
mean,
right up.
that would just end right there,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
You think Women Talking is going to hold on to the WGA?